A virtual heaven-like afterlife exists at Lakeview, where one can upload their consciousness by choice with their memories. In a crowded subway train, Nora, an upload client support at Horizon, heads to work. Arriving at her office, she gets in touch with her new client, who just got uploaded. She renders the client's avatar and memories as she introduces her client to the virtual afterlife. Meanwhile, Nathan, an attractive young man, works on his coding project in his self-driving car. Through a call, his best friend and business partner, Jamie, helps him. But Nathan says he'll work on the error soon. Jamie mentions they're close to fixing it before Nathan ends the call. Then, the laid-back man plugs in his console and races through traffic. Minutes later, the police pull him over and Nathan lies to the police that his car's malfunctioning. The police ask the vehicle if it's true, and the car says it lost consciousness. The cop believes, so she tells him to get his car fixed. Then, the charismatic man flirts with her until his car interrupts. It asks if they should call his girlfriend to inform her that he'll be late for his mother's Thanksgiving gathering, so the cop leaves. Pissed, Nathan tells his car that he's just being nice and orders it to drive. Later on, Jamie arrives at Nathan's mother's house. Entering the kitchen, he sees Ingrid, Nathan's girlfriend, shocked to see her. Viv, Nathan's mother, welcomes him and tells her son to get his friend a chair. He excuses himself and Jamie is annoyed that Ingrid is here, but Nathan tells him that he needs to get used to his girlfriend. Afterward, the two return, and Jamie asks Ingrid about her grandmother's 100th birthday. She mentions her grandmother is in Lakeview Heaven since her entire family has unlimited data. Nathan's father says that uploading is too expensive, so he'll start on a SIM card until Nathan and Jamie finish their free version. Unexpectedly, Nevaeh approaches her uncle Nathan and asks if he can help with her classical dance homework. He gladly accepts, so they go to the living room and dance. While the two dance, Nathan picks Nevaeh up, spinning her around. He gets caught up admiring his reflection in the mirror and accidentally lets go of his niece, throwing her on the couch. They continue dancing to pop songs instead of classical music, leaving them exhausted. Later that night, Nathan and Ingrid share an intimate night in her self-driving car. Ingrid wonders if Nathan's family likes her since she's the first girl he brought home for Thanksgiving. He doesn't think it's a big deal, and his girlfriend says she feels special. Suddenly, they nearly run over a pedestrian. Concerned, Nathan asks if Ingrid has prioritized occupant mode, and she says yes. She commands the car to stop, so they pull over at a convenience store. She wants to have a sleepover with her boyfriend, but he has to work on his project with Jamie tomorrow. His girlfriend persuades him by touching him, then asks him to buy groceries. Shortly after, Nathan puts his clothes on, heads to the store, and buys the food. At the cashier, Nathan listens to the news about Panera Bread's rising stock after buying Facebook. On the way home, Nathan listens to the news in his car until he notices a parked truck on the road. His self-driving car doesn't do anything, insisting that there's no vehicle parked ahead. Nathan orders the car to go on the manual override and shouts to stop the vehicle until they immediately crash into the truck. Hours later, Nora gets Nathan as a new client to upload. She goes through his memories and snapshots a photo of him to create his avatar. Her co-worker, Alicia, notices the attractive man and asks how he died, to which Nora says from a car accident. While finalizing Nathan's avatar, Nora spots a strand of hair poking out, so she erases it, then eventually puts it back. She then looks through his memories and discovers a damaged memory file. Confused, Nora creates a folder to separate the corrupted files. She then views his last memory of Nathan in the hospital. Previously at the hospital, Nathan insists he's alright, while the nurses claim his vitals are depleting. Ingrid worriedly requests to upload her boyfriend before it's too late. A Horizon sales representative brings the paperwork to Nathan, but he doesn't want to be uploaded. Ingrid persuades him so they can be together forever. However, he dislikes the thought of being with her for eternity, so she cries. The sale representative hands him the terms of service, but Nathan hesitates to accept it. Nathan asks the representative if he's still able to make love at Lakeview, and she says yes because they have VR suits that simulate the feeling, so Nathan asks for his mom. The representatives get the wrong idea and calls him disgusting until Ingrid interrupts and pressures him to sign it, so he accepts it. After signing it, he's brought to the uploading room as Ingrid watches. Abel, the technician, prepares Nathan and turns on the scanner above his head. Abel brings out a cooler of ice and Nathan nervously requests to pause the machine. His mother finally arrives and suddenly her son's head incinerates. His lifeless body falls on the cooler and Ingrid and Viv scream in terror. In the present, Nora welcomes Nathan to Lakeview through the system. She familiarizes him by requesting him to think of the alphabet and colors. Finally, Nathan renders and finds himself in Lakeview, a luxurious digital afterlife. Nora sees that his religious affiliation is non-demonstrational Christian, so she tells him the church can be changed into different buildings, such as a mosque or a bowling alley. He requests the bowling alley, so Nora asks for his Horizon password. He says his password, but Nora says it's not working because his charges are going to Ingrid. Nathan cries since he's an unexpected upload who died, and Nora comforts him. He asks what her name is, but she tells him to refer to her as his angel. They're not allowed to reveal who they are, and she assures him she'll be there whenever he needs. Nathan calls her Angel, and she blushes from behind the screen. Lastly, Nora tells him to enjoy the rest of his afterlife. She watches him cry in bed, so she puts him to sleep. The following morning, Nathan enjoys his shower. After, he sees a strand of hair poking out and tries to fix it, but it doesn't budge. Later, he tries to grab a drink but can't get it because he needs to pay. He calls for his angel before Ivan appears and explains he's a VR angel to visit him in person, but Nathan looks for Nora instead. Ivan says it's not her shift yet, and he offers him coffee. The upload declines, so Ivan vanishes, and Nathan looks outside his balcony. He's amazed that he can change the season, so he takes in the beautiful view. Next door, a couple welcomes him from their balcony, and Nathan says the programming is outstanding since he's a coder. The man asks what he programs, but Nathan struggles to remember, which they find unusual. Nathan asks if there's breakfast, so the couple says there's a dining hall and points him in that direction. Moments later, Nathan leaves and finds the dining hall. He calls Ingrid and she asks him about Lakeview, to which he says it's nice, but he'd rather be alive. He asks for her Horizon password to purchase items, but she says she has notifications whenever he charges anything. Abruptly, someone interrupts Ingrid, and she says her pube stylist has arrived. Confused, Nathan says she doesn't have pubes, and she says she'll call him later. Before ending the call, she tells him I love you, catching Nathan off guard since they've never said that to each other. The girlfriend responds it's because she's not scared of him running off anymore, then ends the call. At Nora's home, her father, Dave, prepares dinner through a printer. His daughter tells him about the new Lakeview upgrades, persuading him to be uploaded when he passes away. Dave's cough worsens and he tells her he refuses to be uploaded because his wife is waiting for him in the religious heaven, leaving Nora speechless. At the Lakeview dining hall, a delicious breakfast buffet greets Nathan. He excitedly takes some food until breakfast hours end, and all the food suddenly disappears. As he complains, a man named Luke finds the food gone, much to his disappointment. Upset, Luke goes to a kitchen cabinet, slams it repeatedly, and a piece of bread appears. Nathan does the same glitch, and the two eat the bread. Nathan wonders why they can feel hunger, to which Luke explains people became psychotic before that feature. However, Luke doesn't believe it's real and tries not to get the weirdness in his head. This is because people get drawn into the torrent, a data stream between the real world and Lakeview, where people will get blown to bits if they go there. Afterward, the two introduce themselves, and Luke, an army veteran, asks how he ended up here. Nathan says he died from a self-driving accident, which surprises his new friend. Later that night, at Nora's apartment, Nora takes a shower while she chats with her roommate, Mandy. Mandy looks at her friend's Nightly profile, a dating app, impressed with her matches. At Lakeview, Nathan urinates at a restroom and discovers his urine stream will always land in the urinal. Amazed, he plays around with the stream while the AI guy watches. In Nora's apartment, she immerses herself in VR while Mandy makes love with her nightly match. At Lakeview, Nathan wanders and stumbles upon a vlogger. He asks why there aren't many people, and the man explains they're here. They can only see 5 floors at a time, and 1 million people are swimming in the lake, hence the lag. The man notices Nathan's hair, thinking it's a wig, but Nathan angrily says they programmed his hair wrong and storms out. At the office, Nora arrives, and Ivan flirts with her, but she leaves him in the friend zone. Meanwhile, Nathan's hair poking out angers him as he tries to fix it. He leaves and goes to the torrent until Nora stops him, and he complains about his first day. Infuriated, Nathan walks towards the torrent while his angel persuades him not to. She gives an emotional speech about how Lakeview isn't perfect and how the inconveniences make it more like life. They should value life because it's a gift to keep them going. Her speech makes him realize she's a living person because she has passion and soul. He tells her she's pretty, but is disappointed that he can't know her name. Eventually, Nora reveals her name and where she lives. He finally knows who she is, so the two shake hands and head back while they joke around. While walking, Nora discreetly erases his hair poking out, and Nathan is relieved. The day shift ends, so Nora and the workers leave the office. Meanwhile, at Nora's desk, her computer suspiciously deletes Nathan's damaged files. That night, Nora shares an intimate night with her nightly match, Byron. He asks her to rate him 5 stars, leaving her disappointed because she wants to know him more. Her date leaves and she checks her phone, only to find Byron rated her 4 stars, so she lies in bed and deletes Nightly. The next morning at Lakeview, Nathan goes to pet therapy, and Luke brings him Ernie, the dog. Nathan scratches Ernie until the dog speaks, wanting to talk about his attempt to kill himself yesterday. Nathan says he had a great life, but now he lives in a fantasy world due to an unfair accident. He wanted to be independent and capable, but is now disappointed he couldn't achieve it because of his death. Then, the dog gives him the assignment to talk to at least 5 uploads and make a friend. Meanwhile, Nora talks to her overbearing boss, Lucy, about her approved loan for her dad's upload. Lucy mentions she can't sign it unless Nora gets a 4.6 rating to qualify for the employee discount, since she's currently at 4.59. Disheartened, Nora pleads to her, so Lucy says to get a 4.6 today and a 4.8 by tomorrow. At Lakeview, Nathan spots Dylan hiding behind the bushes. The boy tells him to be quiet and asks if anyone is looking for him, to which Nathan says no. Dylan gets out until AI Guy runs to him and they get into a fight concerning Nathan, so he calls his angel. Nora says Dylan set his AI guys to the Street Fighter game mode and is completely harmless. She catches up with Nathan, who tells her he has an assignment to meet 5 uploads. Meanwhile, Nora sees Lucy with many packages delivered. Pissed, she gets back to Nathan and tells him not to have any expectations so he wouldn't get disappointed. He senses something's wrong with Nora, and she leaves. Hours later, Ingrid receives a call from Nathan and he asks if he can help with the funeral, but she says she has got things covered already. He wants to make love after the funeral with a VR suit, so Ingrid says yes. In Luke's restroom, he sets his mirror on privacy mode, then sings at his reflection. Concurrently, Lucy goes through those in privacy mode and watches an unclothed Luke showering. That afternoon, Nathan struggles to mingle with other uploads. He spots Nora, so he approaches her and asks her the news. She blatantly says she's not Siri, mentioning she's on break. He asks how's her nightly date, and she replies she's not discussing it with him. He says he no longer has earthly needs, leaving her shocked because they're still supposed to have them. He says he's joking before Nora needs to help another client. After helping her client, Nora returns and Nathan says his funeral is tonight. She then says if he ever needs anything, she'll be there for him, then leaves. Later, while Nathan enters his room, he talks to his neighbor David. The young man says he did freeware and modeling back then and recognizes David as one of the famous Choke brothers. David asks more about his freeware, so Nathan says he and his friend were making an app, but doesn't remember the name. He explains it as an app that allows anyone to save their uploads so anyone can create their afterlife for free. David chuckles, saying the young man got killed by someone since he threatened a billion-dollar industry. Concurrently, in the real world, Nathan's cousin, Fran Booth, interrogates Nathan's crashed car. She asks for the footage from the night of the crash, but the car says it doesn't have it. Meanwhile, Ingrid goes to the VR suit rental, looking for an intimate suit for her boyfriend's funeral. The sales lady reveals the suit with silicone fingers inside, saying it's best to use in the tub. This makes the experience realistic, and Ingrid sees them cleaning a suit. The sales lady says the suit isn't only for making love, but for children to hug their grandparents, hence the vomit they're cleaning. Disgusted, Ingrid storms out of the rental without a suit. At Lakeview, Nathan calls his angel, saying he doesn't remember everything. This concerns Nora, so she checks his files and sees the damaged memories. He says he doesn't even remember the lyrics to his high school prom song, Uptown Funk. She helps him recall this memory by singing it, and Nathan finally remembers it until she abruptly says she has to leave. Across him, Nathan sees a man and talks to him, but the arrogant man walks away. At the break room, Nora talks about Nathan to Alicia. She thinks he's a good guy, but finds it odd that some of his files are damaged. Back at Lakeview, Dylan frustratingly calls for his angel. Nora asks him what's wrong, and the boy says he can't talk to his best friend, Breck. Nora says she'll call Breck and try to let him talk to Dylan. She gets in touch with Breck, however, he says he's matured now that he's 18. Afterward, Nora consoles Dylan, but the boy says she didn't try hard enough, so he rates her 3 stars, leaving her disappointed. At a distance, Nathan watches Nora get a 3-star rating. She leaves and worriedly checks her employee rating, seeing it slip down. Later at the Lakeview field, David and Alicia go duck shooting with Nora, who's up in the sky imitating a duck. He rates her 3 stars for not doing her best, so she gets upset. Across the field, Nathan watches and calls his angel. Nora appears frustrated and he rates her 5 stars multiple times, which calms her down. In exchange for the 5 stars, Nora wants to do something to thank him. Noticing his angel's stress, Nathan says she should open up to him. Moments later, Nora vents out about her ill father, not wanting to be uploaded. She fears she won't have anyone after he passes away since he's the only one who understands and loves her. After releasing her worries, Nora thanks him for listening and leaves. Later on, Nathan tells Ernie about disliking the 5 uploads he met, but he thinks the staff is friendly. On the bus commute from work, Nora blushes and giddily remembers Nathan. At Nora's apartment, she looks through Nathan's damaged files and tries to restore them. Able to restore one memory, she discovers that Beyond, another digital afterlife, rejected Nathan and Jamie's software deal. They plan to get ready for their next sales pitch with other investors, but they still lack funds. Suddenly, a man rushes to them and says they shouldn't tell anyone else about their idea. Abruptly, Nathan's funeral notification pops up on the monitor and Nora leaves concerned.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.